everybody, and welcome back to episode number 6 in our ukulele tutorial video sessions. So, as we get started, we recap a little bit of last time. We went over Riptide, talked about how that sounded, the 4 chords that you use for that. But now that you know 4 chords, really, there's no limit to what you can play. And I look at this as that I love to sing, and I really started to love singing not until later in life, until I was in college, and later than that, when I started to feel comfortable with my voice. I realized that I couldn't sing in the ranges that you hear of people singing on the radio. So, with musicianship, we can change keys and use chords to accommodate your voice, because everybody can sing, it's just getting your voice to work with it. However, let's get looking at this ukulele stuff now. So we have 4 chords that we've talked about. The first one was using our ring finger to play a C chord just like this. Then we moved over to A minor with our middle finger on that top string, on that G string there. Then I said, hey, let's add an F chord, because all you have to do for A minor is add your pointer finger on the first fret. This brought us to an F major chord. And then I said, uh-oh, the hardest chord we have to do right now is a G chord, which is always funky because you're placing 3 fingers down and it looks like a triangle when you try to picture what a G chord looks like. Now, with those 4 chords, as I said, you can do a lot. I'm going to throw another chord at you today, but I actually think it's easy. So watch this. Go back and play me an A minor chord. Middle finger, 2nd fret on the G string. Now play me an F major chord. I'm going to add this chord called a D minor chord. So you need your ring finger here. You're going to sneak it. So it's on the 2nd fret of your C string. So it's almost like you're doing finger, finger, pointer. Middle, ring, pointer. And if you add it to the F chord, it changes and transforms the chord to this. I know it's hard to see there. Again, it's middle goes there, ring goes here, pointer goes here. 2, 2, 1. And you get a nice little dark chord there, but it works great for the song we're going to take a look at today. So, for example, let me just bring up the lyrics here. So we're going to take a look at Hey Jude, a popular Beatles tune that's done in a bunch of keys. It's been around. It's kind of one of those timeless songs that you see people doing in a lot of different ways as well, whether it's with a rock group or the classic Beatles type group setup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw chords at you that put it in called the key of C, because I feel like those are chords are the easiest for you. So you're going to need 4 chords today. C, F, G, and then a D minor snuck in there in the middle of the chorus. So for example, let's just do some strumming together. So let's start on the chords C. If you're having trouble going up and down with a strum rhythm like this, you can always just go strum rhythm down. I'm fine with that, and then you can kind of mix in as you get more comfortable. The idea is we're trying to get the ukulele to sing and sound the right way first. Now, let's move over to G. Nice. Let's move back to C. Let's move over to F. Back to G. And you can hear that it almost wants to go back to C. Nice. Now, as I was playing those chords, I'll have I hope put in the video the actual picture of it, the tab of what that looks like as we're playing through these ukulele chords. Now, in case you've never heard the song, it sounds like this. So before I yell out chords, I'm gonna sing it for you first. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude. Go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you begin to make it better. This is the chorus, so we're going to add our D minor. You'll see it in a second. And anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulders. For well you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder. Now, as I said, you can play along with that. You can rewind the video. You can follow the chords. As long as you're sitting on those chords, generally, you can give me strums. You could change it to this. Hey, Jude, don't be afraid. You can. So the idea is, don't let the right hand, this rhythm, this strum rhythm I'm doing, throw you off. That becomes easier in time. That's not something I expect everyone to just jump into. If you have a natural sense of rhythm, that might be easy for you. But there's a lot going on, especially if you're trying to figure out where to put your left hand here, what to do with your right hand here. That's a lot. So I don't want you to try to feel like, oh, if I can't do it just like him, I'm bad. Because that's not the goal. The goal is to kind of hear it and see it. Now, you can play along with that as many times as you want. Let's go back. Now, we didn't talk about capos yet. So here is an itty-bitty little tiny ukulele capo. If you know anything about capos, you'll know that true ukulele and guitar players don't use capos. They are the masters of their instruments, and they can do anything they need on their instrument with their fingers. People like me, I don't get to play ukulele and guitar every single day of my life, so I don't have a chance to master that skill. I can get around on it. I can play it fairly well, but I use a capo, especially if I'm trying to do some singing stuff. Now, when you add a capo here, what it technically does is it cuts off the ukulele and makes it smaller. So, for example, I'm going to take my capo, and when I put it on, you don't put it on the metal bar. You put it slightly before it, slightly after it, technically. I guess it depends on how you're looking at it. And then I just tighten the back, and it doesn't need to be super tight. You'll notice it just kind of closes those strings down so they stop right before this fret. So now I've put a capo on the 3rd fret. What that does is it changes all the chords that I'm playing. So for example, my C chord turns into an E flat chord. My F chord turns into an A flat chord. So it changes them in what you're doing here. Point being, I digress, is that it changes all the chords you're playing. But the benefit is your hand doesn't change. You would leave your hand in all the same spots as you did for C, F, G, and D minor. When you use a capo, you pretend that this part of the ukulele no longer exists. And now you have this tiny little ukulele. This would be the same concept of what you do on a guitar. So keep that in mind. But when you do that now, it changes the whole song. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, and then you can start to make it better. So now by playing that for me personally, I say, I felt like I was stretching on the top for some of my notes, and I know the song gets higher. I might not use a capo for that. But again, the idea is when you use that capo, it's tricky because you're using all this part of the guitar, ukulele, you're not using this part. It kind of is dead to you because of it's being pinched off. So I hope that was a nice little adventure today in talking about using a capo, if you ever have one, and buy an itty bitty little ukulele capo, or just getting an introduction to the new chord D minor and playing around with the song Hey Jude. It's a great one. Take a listen to it. and we'll see you next week.